Great. Told you. That's the only one I got.
All right, lads, we're live straight away.
What's that?
I'm not actually a punter.
I'm not either.
All right, guys, so we're off. We're going. We're live on Facebook. To anyone that's going to jump on in Facebook in a second or watch it on replay, this is our first one. We haven't even done an intro video for the Punters Club yet or the before the game. But so today, now that we've got the studio, I thought perfect time to get a couple of extra people in and have a little bit of fun. Adrian White got his big site supply board behind us as well. He's sponsoring our Punters Club today, so a $50 bet thanks to Site Supply Electrical. You might be just throwing your money down the tube if you're asking me, Adrian, because I am the worst punter going around.
They're normally the ones who win, mate, so we have to.
No, you want to see my sports bet account? That definitely doesn't. Betty Charles joins us, Signature Sports, logo up the front here. If you're after a function, I'll do your plug for you, Benny. Watch this. If you're after a function at your club and you want the very best talent around, signaturesports.com.au is your guy. Benny, welcome to Australia. Are you a good punter, at least?
Me, I follow some bad punters, but I wouldn't say that I'm a punter myself, really. But
You will be by the end of this show for sure. And Robbie Bolson, apparently related to Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown's long-lost brother. They did Ancestry recently and found out that they're related. No, definitely not.
Too good looking.
Robbie Bolson, former Fitzroy player, Paran player. Let's run through the clubs, Rob, very quickly.
That's it, only two.
No, that's not.
Two.
Reservoir, Laylaw, definitely.
No, Laylaw.
Yeah, just Laylaw.
Diamond Creek.
Is there any more? Because I know of another one up the country where you walk in and you're royalty, Tatura. Apparently, Benny, they rolled out the red carpet for him. The mayor handed over the key when you went back there recently.
Was this with Hux and Beezer as well? Was that
No,
before or after?
I'm a bit older than them.
Yeah.
Way
there you
before
go.
them.
Way before.
Right, well, some very good quality in there. Guys, I want to start the show. 1 hour we're going to go for. So anyone that's got any questions and or you've got any tips for us, we want your best tip of the day and we'll put them on, so send them through. 150th anniversary today for Heidelberg Footy Club. That's a huge event. Bolzo was just saying to me before, he thinks that Melbourne Football Club is the oldest football club in Australia. I don't know.
In the world,
maybe in the world. So they wouldn't be far behind them as a local club then, would they? Like 150s.
I'd really like to find that one out.
Yeah. Well, I'm there today. I reckon someone might be able to tell us as well, what it is. But, 150 years is a long time. Apparently they started and they had a blue slash jumper, but they're the first club in Australia to have the Richmond slash, yellow slash. So that's a big day. Bolzo, for you, looks like we lost our camera. Not sure what happened there. Something's happened. It'll come back, hopefully. Bolzo, for you, let me ask you, at what stage of the season is the right time to consider, are we in trouble? Like, say, let's use Greensborough for an example today. They could be 1-3 at the end of today. Are they in trouble if that's what happens at the end of the day today? Camera's back. Sorry, guys. Not sure what happened there. But are they in trouble? Is West Preston's season over, Benny, if that happens today, if they're 0-4? You guys are the football experts. We're professional spectators. Is that fair, Adrian? Yeah.
Fair call.
But Bolzo, with you, at what stage are you at panic stations? Is 1-3 panic stations?
1-3 is not panic stations.
No.
Look, Greensborough are a pretty good side, and they have been for years. And maybe they're just going through a form slump. I know you don't want to go through a form slump early in the year, but way too early.
Yeah,
way too early. And I think comparing West Preston, maybe they will struggle. They've lost a lot of players, personnel throughout last year. I think they lose them last year or this year.
They lost a lot this year.
Yeah, so I think it's two different clubs, but I wouldn't be panicking if I was a Greensborough supporter.
But so let's put this in AFL context then, Benny. If you're a Carlton supporter, is your season over? Because we're talking 0-5 or 1-5. I'm a Carlton supporter. I've come to the conclusion that our season's over. The talent's not there to make a difference.
And I think that's a good point, your talent and your depth. So if you're looking at where you progress or project to finish at the end of the season, that's probably more a barometer about how panicking you're going to be.
Yes.
But I think when you look at hindsight and you look at this early part of the season and think, geez, the season's over, look back at round 14 and say, gee, that was a mistake, wasn't it? We hit the panic button a little early on that one. So I think it depends. Again, Greensborough is a talented side. They've got a lot of depth.
Yep.
So they'll be right to pull through this. A side like West Preston, they might be panicking because they haven't got a win And the fixture's another big thing too. Who have you played in that 4-game period?
And it's a long way to come back because what starts to happen in the next couple of weeks is we start talking about the word relegation and not just NFNL, EDFL, Mornington Peninsula League, AFL. Oh, AFL's no relegation, probably should be. But I got a big one for you in a minute, Bolzo. It might rock your world. But, at that point, they're in trouble. Western Bulldogs again last night only went down by 10 points, but they're losing too many of those games. At what point is it, the loaded question is what point are the coaches under the pump now? Like at let's say AFL level, because the shit's going to hit the fan shortly, I reckon. Vossi's probably good for 2 or 3 more losses. And Carlton are nowhere near as ruthless as we were in the 80s.
Yeah. I think Carlton, Vossi probably gone at the end of the year. There's no doubt about that. But every game this year, they've been in a position to win.
Yep.
Is it in the mind, obviously, weak-minded?
Yep.
That last quarter, they just fall apart.
Yep.
But every game, they've been in a position to win. And, maybe it just takes one win to get the mindset and believe.
Yep.
And they might get a few wins this year.
Is he gone regardless?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
So who else is under the
come
pump
back to
this year?
Brisbane.
Ben, Adrian, who's under the pump in AFL? Who won't have their job next year?
It's a really, really tough one because you're looking at who's available, and this is probably a unique position where some of the greatest coaches and premiership coaches are available.
Mm-hmm.
And the historic question is about, well, who replaces him? Who replaces Voss? There's 4 or 5 people lining up ready to do it.
Wouldn't mind being Longmire now. You could just about write your own check, couldn't you?
And Adam Simpson is another one.
Adam Simpson,
So
I love listening.
How is Adam Simpson worth a fortune at the moment? Didn't he take West Coast to their worst results ever?
Yeah, and again, that's
Also
another one where
flag.
you look at lists, how long you hold on to those players that got you to that premiership, the legacy players. Do you hold them just that extra 2 or 3 years longer?
Yep.
AFL coaches, and when you look at the inner sanctum and peel back the onion, they have a role to play in list management.
Yes.
But they don't actually control the list management. They get a team to push forward. Was it all Adam's fault? We don't know. We don't know what happened behind the scenes at West Coast.
From a president's perspective, you've been president of a local footy club. What happens behind the doors there in the sense of, as the president, are you saying to the president, no, we fully support you? Because when you say that live on radio that we fully support you, you're as good as screwed the next week. But is it generally you do fully support the coach? Is there a time to say we're going to turn over the players? Or are you looking at both? Because sometimes you've got to get that mix really spot on, don't you?
Yeah, I think you got to look at both. You just can't sack a coach because they're not winning games. There's got reasons behind that. Injuries play a big part in local football. You only need to lose 1 or 2 of your key players and you're in big trouble. Recruitment's another thing as well. Youth. If you know you've got kids, good strong 19s coming through, push them kids through. Give them game time. If you're not going to make the finals, by around probably 5 or 6 or 7, you're going to struggle. Start pushing the kids through. Get games into them.
At what expense? At the expense of a good player? Would you rest a good player? Or, a player that thinks he should be in that side?
Yeah, injuries play a huge part with that too. I think last year, every week you had 5 to 7 players out. So they had to bring through kids. So I think you have to look at the older players and say, look, we have to start blooding some youth.
The out list is pretty big in local footy today. Just, I was having a look at the ins and outs of the NFL and it's pretty solid. There's a lot of players out. I think Bundoora got 5 or 6 out today. So that's going to, make it hard against an Eltham outfit. Greensborough's got quite a few out, and Heidelberg have just got everybody in. So it's it's a timing thing. Wouldn't matter if Heidelberg had half of them out, to be honest, but they're that good.
Yeah. But Greensboro last team to beat them too. So
is sacking a coach mid-season something you ever thought about as a president?
Oh, 100%.
Really?
You have to, I think so, because that culture, you're stuck in that culture halfway through the season where not only for the committee and the players, but your spectators, when they put the money over the bar. If they're not turning up to the games because the coach is not listening to game plans or has his own game plan, it won't change. And you're getting flogged. I think it really is. If you've lost the support of the committee and the players, there's only a handful of players that are backing the coach. But then again, it is hard to sack. So who do you replace them with? That's another thing too. So
it's got to work.
Were you involved with 1 or 2 at Laylaw when they were sacked? mid-year? It was Peter Hall, if you remember, and obviously one of the greatest players to ever play at Layla and Steve Willocks. It was about 5 games, wasn't it? Unfortunately, really close
Yeah,
mates.
I think
with a
they
lot of
come
people.
to. I mean, a good friend of mine. Steve, and I catch up with him a lot.
Yeah,
I think it was just mutual. That one.
it was, and
Yeah.
that's what I was going to allude to. That sometimes it's the alignment of the president, the coaches, the committee, the players, and because local footy is such a microscope in comparison to AFL. If something doesn't align, then there's changes that are made.
Yeah.
But Stephen's a terrific person. You know,
Personally, I don't think you achieve anything by
Sacking a coach
halfway through the year.
No.
Really, what does it gain?
Well, it depends if the players believe that they can't play under that person anymore. We're in local footy. I can tell you in the EDFL, there's one coach under the pump after 3 rounds. They're talking about, getting rid of him. And there's also one in our league. And I'm clearly not going to say who it is, but I haven't seen a coach. No, I definitely don't. I haven't seen a coach get sacked in local footy mid-season for quite a while.
And again, as we talked about, sometimes it's a mutual thing. That was first time that Stephen coached, and he kind of went, "I'm not feeling it." And then
you'd love that.
And it was, that's how it sort of ended there.
But I think, to be fair to Steve, I don't think he took the pre-season.
No,
I think he just come into it to take over from, I can't remember who the last coach was. So it was not half-hearted, but it didn't have full control right from the start. And then there was just a mutual agreement.
And it's not just a win-loss ratio either. There's a lot of other things behind it. But,
it could be, there could be disciplinary reasons. Could be you got on the juice with the guys one night and he's all. How many blues happened between a coach and a player? I got chinned by a coach once out on the piss, and the truth is, I deserved it. You crossed the line as a young bloke, and that was okay back there. Could you imagine chinning a bloke at a local footy club now? You'd be in the world of pain.
Absolutely.
And I'm only reading through social media, but there seems to be a really messy situation at Bayswater where, the coach is saying, thank God I got sacked, and the committee is saying whatever, and there's commentary. And that starts to get really messy because then that opens up cracks for recruitment the next year and people hearsay.
It's a serious point. If you do get the arse, you nearly need to go into defending yourself mode if you intend to coach again. I've got a couple more questions before I do. If you, for the people listening on radio, you can text in to the text number as well if you want to send over your punter's tip, which we'll get into shortly. I just want to continue on this a little bit further. I want to ask all 3 of you, what's changed in footy? What's the biggest change in footy, local or AFL, in the last 30 years in your lifetime? What's the biggest thing that's changed, Adrian? For me, it's money. There's too much money in local footy. That's me. And where someone like Steve Willocks would have walked away because he wouldn't have had 50 grand as a coach's fee sitting on the table to walk away or hand back. Maybe it was 40. But
it was all relative back then. 30 years ago. What you're getting then is probably.
So there was as much money around footy then?
I just look at when I went to the country. I think it's relative to what it is.
Country's a whole other beast. Maybe we'll talk about it. So for you, what's the biggest point, Adrian?
I think the money's a huge problem.
Yeah,
there's a lot of clubs struggling with money, and every club seems at the end of the year to struggle to pay their players. I don't say they don't, but they do.
Yeah.
Sponsorships are hard to get. Volunteers, clubs don't have as many volunteers as what they used to. Everyone wants to be paid to do something, whether it's running water, anything, goal umpire, they want to be paid.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. Local crowds have dropped off immensely. Whether that's,
I feel they're coming back.
Yeah.
And I'll finish on why they're coming back shortly. But the good point. You've seen firsthand. You know more than anyone from a president's point of view.
Yep. Yeah, I think the money's the killer of the clubs at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Benny?
I'm a little bit off center with this, and I'm pretty strong and talked about it a lot. Mobile phones and social media.
Yes.
And the reason being is that Thursday nights and Saturdays, if you want to be connected to your community, you needed to just be at a physical location, which was the club. Now that kids can connect socially and have other avenues that don't venture down to the club. So crowds dropping off is probably an extension of like, if I'm sitting at home and I need to go and connect, I'll go down on Thursday nights and have a meal. Whereas now they won't do that, or they'll go home earlier. So I think if you were to have a look at when mobile phones came into play, and then social media and this digital network that we live in now, it's made us more disconnected at physical locations like hotels, pubs, sporting clubs.
Yep.
So
No.
that's the biggest change I've seen. For me, I wanted to be mates with Robbie Bolson and Daryl Sinclair and all these older kids, older guys. So I was always there at training.
Yep.
Just because I wanted to be around them. Whereas would a kid that's 19 want that same sort of connection now? It's different. That's
They
the
probably want a
difference.
picture with Tom Mitchell, and then they leave
Yeah.
because that's worth 40,000
But not
views
only
or
did they
something.
leave, that picture then goes on social media about, hey, I met Tom Mitchell. I connected with a guy from 30 years ago.
So
We're
how do
still
clubs
relations
embrace
now.
that then? How do clubs embrace if the time has changed? Like,
We talk about signature sports, and I deal with hundreds of AFL players. Nick Maxwell is on another level to everybody.
Really?
And he talks about the difference of when he was leading Collingwood, Rat Pack, Dane Swans, to when he went to GWS and had to talk to a whole heap of kids who grew up in a different dynamic, and how he changed it. And the one thing that he did with them and with Melbourne Storm was take these away during social interactions.
gee,
So
tough,
they just
innit?
had the phones in boxes. And he said the first couple of days was really hard. Within the next couple of weeks, they were forgetting their phones were even there.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
So-
it has been, you're right. I think it's probably maybe the biggest change in footy is, and for clubs, when I played at Edithvale Aspendale in the Mornington Peninsula League, we only used to get half our pay. So half was a drink card, half your pay was cash, but you couldn't get the cash until you drank your drink card. Well, so what I'd do is, because I couldn't drink as much as I was getting paid, not that I was getting paid tons, but you would say to your mates, come down and just everyone go get a couple of beers so we can piss off and go to the 21st century. So it's the only way to get out of here is to knock the drink card off. But that money stayed in the club, didn't it?
And I think
Yeah.
you look back to when we were growing up, your club was everything. You were there till 3 a.m. on a Thursday night. You
Absolutely.
were there Saturdays till the sun coming up. Now, nowadays, 8 o'clock, once some teams are out, if you're in the doorway, you get trampled on.
What about selection? As soon as selection,
Yep.
gone.
See ya.
Out
Yep.
the door.
As soon as the teams are out, if you're in the doorway, you get trampled on. With the max exits. They just don't hang around like they used
Yeah.
to.
What about you, Bolzo? What's the biggest change in footy? You'd be what, 75 now, 80? So you've probably seen four
I'm getting there.
generations
I'm
of footy.
I'm
But
getting there. I'm getting
But you've seen it at every level. You've seen it at VFL, VFL, AFL, and local footy. So
For me, I think the biggest change, I understand money, that's no problem, social media. But for me, is in the game, the change of the game, probably the one-on-one contests where now it's more moving the footy quickly. The physicality of the game, just not there anymore.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say it's more physical. I think it's faster, but it's not as
It
physical.
used to be a lot more physical
Yep.
when I played anyway. Yeah, just the movement of footy, how
Mhm.
quick it is. It's probably quicker today, obviously.
Yep.
But you just don't get that one-on-one contest. You can't win your own footy really because
Mhm.
it gets handed to you. You know, you're outside and they either kick it to you or handball it to
It was
you.
20
and you're off and
possessions
running.
a lot in the 80s versus, is that the equivalent of 40 now?
Diesel Williams did it every week in the 80s.
Yeah, I know. But
40.
like now, this kicking backwards, I don't remember kicking backwards when I played footy. And if you did, it was because there was absolutely no option in the world. And the coaches used to say, no U-turns and we don't go backwards.
But that's what I'm talking about. You look at Fox and put the old games on. They get the footy, kick it forward.
Yep.
There's a one-on-one contest.
Yep.
Okay, now they try and bypass it.
Pure
So-
man-on-man footy.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And back then too, you had a coach and assistant coach. Now you got line coach,
Absolutely.
assist coach, that coach. You got
Yeah.
a coach for everything.
And at the
Pretty
end of the
much.
day, you knew you'd played a game. 'Cause
Yeah.
You were battered and bruised.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's sort of a little bit,
Yeah.
I still think they're
easier
pretty.
footy, I think. I'm not saying it's easy.
Yeah, they're still pretty bruised and battered.
It's a lot.
But the
more-
wacks are gone. The
bruise
big wacks
free.
are gone,
I
Ben.
think
think
your
that's-
rotations like now. They got rotations.
Oh,
every 5
absolutely,
minutes.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think the big thing that's missing is that suburban warfare. Like we had that rivalry game between North and Layla. They
Yep.
genuinely hated
Oh.
each other.
Yeah.
There was brawls and there
I
was.
can't believe there was
fight,
no blood on that game down there, even though it was a Legends game. There's always that one more little cheeky.
There needs to be, yeah,
Even
there needs to be
a
something
rubber.
like that. But I'm certain I went and watched Montmorency Eltham, and that was a terrific game of football to watch.
Yep.
But at what I wouldn't say it's bruise free. It's fast, it's hard, it's quick, it's younger, and it's more athletic. And there's
Yeah.
not the tree trunks of Robbie Bolson's running around.
Yeah.
Or when I was a young kid playing again, seeing Dean Sheriff and Trevor Robinson go, what am I doing? This is scary out here, you know? Whereas I don't know whether a 19-year-old kid would feel that playing seniors now.
Oh, definitely not. I think that body, those little cheeky behind the scenes, they're gone. There's cameras everywhere now.
That's great that's gone.
I agree.
I'm not talking about
I love the physicality. I watched last week. I was speaking to Bolzo before you guys arrived offline. I watched Cam Wild probably do a little bit of a number on Tom Mitchell last week. Tom Mitchell was still the highest possession getter last week, so I'm definitely not having a crack at Tom. He's special, right? But Cam Wild, he's just a bit of a good – he would have played in any era of footy. He probably wouldn't have as many weeks against his name as he's got if he had played in the 80s because he's a good, genuine, tough Dermot Brereton style player.
And that's what people like at local footy.
They love
that
him.
brutality.
You either love him or you hate him.
But
I
you're
forgot his
restricted.
name. The kid there's a kid from Eltham. He's a forward, and he was brutal on the kicks that were coming into the forward line. And I said, "Who's that?" And they said, "Oh, the Kettle. That's the Kettle. 'Cause
Right.
he's always ready to boil."
All right.
You know, so
was it David Evans, maybe?
It could have. Yes, I think it was. I
Yeah,
think
he's
it
a
was.
gun.
So again, he sticks in my mind because he's got that fierce intensity.
Oh, yeah,
of
he's a
what he wants.
nutcase on the
You
field.
know,
Off the field,
Kettle,
we
I love it.
interviewed him.
You
He was
love
like,
the nickname.
he was like,
I loved it.
yeah, mate, you know, that's great. I appreciate that, mate. And on the field, you see him and he's popping a valve.
Yeah, he
So it
is.
must be him.
So,
Yeah.
but again, that's what I took out of that game. That's the thing that I remember.
Yep.
That used to be all across the ground back in the early 90s.
Before we jump into the punters club, I want to float this one. I was at a function recently with some high level football people, right? My understanding is there's this and 2 more seasons of VFL left and it's over, right?
Right.
So, and that's like you could just about bank on it. All right. So AFL reserves are coming back. So what's going to happen to the VFL clubs like Sandringham, Coburg? And did we see the first shift of that last year when Bull Ants, you're not financial, enough's enough, gone. There's 3 other sides that I know for a fact are heavily in the red. They're non-affiliated sides. What does that mean? So if VFL goes and we go back to AFL reserves, I'm told that's 100% happening. So if that's happening, my question to them was, so is there going to be a VFL? And the answer was probably not. So what does that leave? Does that mean VFA come back? Does it mean that everyone just goes back to local football and they start pulling out of local football? The benefit of that is the talent comes back down to local level a lot better. And that was the point I was leading to, Ben. I think you get a lot more crowds back when you've got a lot more talent coming back to local level. I understand it's happening. The person that told me is super connected, not something to make up. And then I've run it past 3 or 4 people and they've all said to me, yeah, I've heard the same thing. So
Well, I'm happy to inject here. Coburg and Preston, let's take them for example. I had a lot to do with them and also worked for a company that sponsored several AFL clubs, including Southport Sharks. So Preston is playing against Southport Sharks. Preston are running Bunnings Barbecue. Southport Sharks have got more money than Richmond, Hawthorn and Collingwood.
is that right?
So they can't compete on a level playing field at all.
Wow.
There's travel, there's accommodation. It's almost impossible to prop up. Does it open up an opportunity for a Heidelberg to be playing against a Keilor and a Coburg? Maybe it does. Is there a place for that? And where does it sit? And then will people travel to those games? So will someone from Cranbourne, if they're the premier team in Morning Peninsula, actually travel out to Keilor to go and watch a game? I don't know whether we're in that day and age anymore where the VFA sits.
So you're thinking there's a premier competition, maybe not called VFA, but there's a Premier League where the Keilor, the Heidelbergs,
Possibly.
the Edith Vale Aspendales, and the Bayswaters go to.
One thing I definitely know is that Southport Sharks can't play against Coburg and Preston. That can't happen anymore, I don't think. So that needs to be what does it open up an opportunity, a conversation for? I think everyone would love it, but then it's commercially doesn't work. So I think that they've tried a whole heap of models, and the thing is the agendas always get confused. So where Williamstown and Collingwood were aligned a few years ago, so whenever it was, We instead had their agenda to try and win, so they weren't playing a kid on the halfback flank. They wanted to play him on the ball. And Collingwood were like, no, we want him to play here.
Yeah.
So Richmond's, Collingwood's, they all went back to that model of let's just have our reserves. So it's kind of like they've just gone full circle to where they're at. And maybe it opens up an opportunity for a Premier Victoria competition. I don't know. But it's worth a hindsight thing.
I think reserves going back to before the game is a must. So, and one of the problems has been for these local clubs is the cost of travelling. You're spot on. It's expensive, if you've got to travel for a VFL side interstate to GWS, Tassie's now in the league, and Sydney and Gold Coast. It's a lot of money to take that level of players up. I wonder what then happens to VFLW if that remains or that goes back to a local level. This is a touchier subject, but I'll raise it. Is my understanding is that might drop back down a level to state-based, and there might be a carnival at the end of the year for the best of the best women's sides, because it's very, very expensive for the AFL to continue to inject money into it. Don't think the television rights are that keen on it. So, that's what I'm hearing. And if that's the case, did they go too fast, too quick with AFLW?
I'm happy to. Yeah, I just don't want to control the whole microphone.
Probably.
Went too quick?
Yeah, probably the talent pool
Wasn't there.
so many sides weren't there. Like there are elite women footballers, don't get me wrong, but to spread them out over 12, 13 teams, where it may be, yeah, it probably did go too quick. And playing in the off season of the men's doesn't help either.
Yeah, I think they thought that was where they'd capture the footy crazy market, but the market might have been missed there because some people are totally over footy by then, aren't they?
Yeah.
Ben, I reckon you're ready to jump on this, Ben.
They've been losing a lot of money with women's footy. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Tons.
So you got to wonder, how long do you keep going?
Yep.
If I was running a business, I was losing a lot of money. Pull the pin.
Yep.
So,
Well, has it been at the expense of junior footy then as well?
that I don't know. Possibly. I'm not too sure. I haven't really thought about it, but maybe they've just gone too quick.
Yeah, I think there's a home for women's footy,
100%.
very much so.
100%.
It's so good that so many women are playing. On LSN here, we commented done commentary on a game on one last week, and it made it all the way to SEN. Someone rang up and said, how good is it that LSN is covering women's footy on a Sunday? We're not doing it every week because it's hard to get callers for it as well, but we're about local sport.
Oh, look, from my point of view, the women's team last year were magnificent.
Yeah, at North, yes.
Fantastic. Everything I asked them to do, they did. They won the grand final for them. It was fantastic. The only thing that was annoying was it's 3 o'clock start on a Sunday.
Too late?
Too late, and then it's also hard if you've got to have your committee back there for one game. You can't end open. You can't get umpires. You can't get boundaries. It's just there should be either a Friday night or aligned with a Saturday. It's too much for volunteers to expect to be there all day Saturday and come back for one game.
It all comes down to lighting, doesn't it?
Yep.
Facility management. If you could facilitate it, I think Heidelberg have got the women's game precursor to the reserves.
They're talking about Thursday
19s.
night footy now. Nick Papagiannis the other night was saying it'd be great to get Thursday night under lights, women maybe. Friday night, 19s, boys. Saturday, you're into it. Their women's, I think, are playing tonight after the seniors for their 150th anniversary at Heidelberg.
Is it the 19s finishing it off or the women's?
I think the 19s, you might be right, might be the 19s. The women's starting the day maybe.
But again, it comes down to that 250 lux. Can you facilitate it? Is there a ground that can cater for it? And that's a facility management thing. So you can't construct a whole lot more ovals, but how much money have councils and state government got to try and facilitate for extra games? I know that down at Warragul, their competition, I did a little bit of work with them down there, and I know AFL Victoria came in. They used to have 4 games on a Saturday. They used to have the 16s, the 18s, reserves, and seniors, and they loved it because the 16s needed to be driven to the ground. So then their parents became the next committee members.
Yep.
So there is a way that you can have the 4 games in there. It's just how early and how late you can play, and having, I think, a connection where women come and integrate with the seniors and the other bodies. That's better than being a standalone at another ground and sort of forgotten bolt on.
Yeah. You've got to embrace them in your club.
Yeah.
You have to have them part of your club.
Well, I went down to St Mary's on Thursday, and they've done a really, really good job there. Yeah, it seems to be very cohesive.
Yeah. And I think it's important for there to be that inclusiveness level. It's just whether they went too quick with it at the top level, as you say, before the talent pool was ready. Some great talent in there now, but it's straining, you know.
And
financial.
Is it a loss leader to say, hey, we've got to just get it out there in front just so that we can get girls engaged and then maybe piece it back?
Yeah.
Did they do that scientifically? Probably not, you know, but maybe that's the end result, that it's out there in front of everyone now. Let's pull it back, and we've got lots of girls that are genuinely coming through.
Would have been not a bad business plan. They've certainly injected a fair bit into it. If you were made the AFL boss today, what's something you would change from today's game? For me,
Probably start with the top 10
top 10 what?
finals.
Don't like it?
Do you really need it?
Yeah.
It's the only way Carlton and Essendon are going to play finals at the moment.
Geez, I could
Yeah.
pick a few things.
Yeah.
Bloody stand rule. Get rid of that.
Yeah.
Feel the rules of
Mate, the umpires just got to stop blowing whistles.
Yeah, I
reckon
agree.
they- Last night's game, I
I
lost
watched it.
count of how many times they blew the whistle.
Yeah.
There's
brought it
no
back.
contact. You can't have contact anymore.
Yeah.
If there's a little bit of contact that's a little bit forceful,
Yep.
blow the whistle.
Is it?
That's
Have we got
just-
too many
it doesn't
umpires?
get
Is that
Oh.
the point? Is there too many umpires on the ground? So too many sets of interpretation. We're all old enough to remember Peter Cameron running a ground on his own, you know, in the AFL in his day. So you've got one umpire, one person's interpretation. I know we're never going to go back to that. I did hear on one of the other radio stations the other day, they were talking about, I think we have too many umpires, and so too many sets of interpretation. Plus you've got someone in your ear as well. Is it too much?
I feel for the umpires.
Yeah.
They change rules. The amount of interpretations they've got to make in split seconds and the scrutiny that they get is insane. And the greatest quarter of football that I've ever watched, sorry, Collingwood supporters, but it was West Coast versus Collingwood, the
Do for
last
me.
quarter of the grand final, and they just put the whistle away. I think they blew the whistle 3 times.
It seems to be in finals,
It was insane to watch. And I think that's what people want to watch. They want to watch the game.
I think
they
that's
don't want to watch
been
the rules.
consistent. So why isn't it happening? Why is there more changes every year to more rules? And stand only benefits one person, the kicker. All right.
I think it's a domino effect.
But it allows you to take off and gain 5 meters. I want that person to get caught if he takes off.
I was listening to SEN yesterday, and they were speaking about this. Every time there's a rule change, it causes another 3 problems.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's a domino
I reckon
effect,
you're right.
isn't it? You know?
I reckon you're spot on.
And
And
they've
it-
got to find a rule to, combat those 3 that have come into it.
And it almost dates back to when Terry Wallace brought in the flooding to beat
Yeah.
Essendon. And then it was all these rule changes about this is ruining the game. What do we do here? What do we do there? How do we quicken it up?
Yeah.
Leave
It
it alone.
seems to be in finals and grand finals that they just put the whistle away and let the players play.
And that's
And
Let 'em
why
play.
can't it be like that
Let them play.
for the home and away season? It just seems to change, or the mid-season they change rules or change interpretations.
and again, because they're so scrutinized
Yeah.
about one small
Yeah.
error and they've got thousands of decisions to make in a split second. And the game is fast.
Mm.
It's quick. you
It's
know?
quicker than ever. Would you agree with that, Rob?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so quick. But, I always watch a ball coming into the forward 50 and I'm just waiting for the whistle to blow.
Yeah.
Because
Because you can't do this
you can't-
anymore.
Yeah.
Well, you can, because last week, Anzac Day, they let that go. But last night, that was on the whistle. So that is the most frustrating bit. I agree.
Yeah.
And this is, and you're not allowed to, you would have struggled. You're not allowed to do this to the umpire anymore. You're not allowed to go have a look at the
That's right.
replay.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have got 400 weeks.
So this is what I'm talking about. Why do you need a rule for that?
It's
What-
stupid.
And I think when you see a player that, and I get the rule, I get it, I understand, but has got nothing. There's nothing that's impeding that kicker. He's just within 5 minutes, got his back to the box.
Yeah.
You change the whole dynamic of a game because
Yep.
of an incidental 3 to 4 meters. I think that's the stuff that people don't want to be watching. They want to be watching the contest.
Yep.
Also, this last touch.
Yep.
Just go back to throwing it in.
You don't like the last touch? I don't mind it.
No, I don't like it.
I don't, if it speeds the game up a bit and it stops, it makes them keep the ball in play
takes the-
longer.
takes the
I
ruck
like
work.
that contest at the boundary
Takes
line.
the ruck work out of it, though.
Yeah. Oh, they're getting pounded, the ruckman, as it is.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd just like to see it go back to
I'm
normal.
So I'm the CEO, and I'm going to change something.
What is it?
The fixture. I
Don't
thought
like it?
deeply about this one. We're going to come into another team.
Yes.
I think we just play 18 rounds. Everyone plays each other once. Have your marquee matches. Have your opening round. Have your Anzac Days.
I like 18 rounds. That
18
works, but you're
rounds.
never going to get through both sides. So,
So how many teams have we got? We've got 19
Yep.
next year. Okay, so the bottom 3, they just go out and get the draft picks. We're down to 16. And don't quote me on the exact mechanics here, but evens over here, odds over there, and we play a final 8 like a conference, and they come together and play. But I think that the draw itself, playing all of this stuff that is dictated by Channel 7 and broadcast rights and everything, is actually detracting, because as you get to round 24 and you're watching, 17 versus 18, I'm certain the television audience isn't there for that game.
agree.
Whereas if you're into the second stage of finals, and then there's a third stage where you get into a grand final, and all the mechanics of how it would work would be whatever. But I think they have to rethink what a spectator wants to see.
Yep.
They want to see elimination finals, not someone playing for like the bottom 5 positions.
I'd like for them to ask more to the general public what they want. They say they do,
They
but
don't listen
they don't.
anyway.
But your rules committee should be made up by the person that's watching it.
Maybe just to tweak that, ask more, and then take on that advice.
Yes.
Yeah, rather than ask and we'll just do whatever.
Doesn't seem to be that much love for the new boss. I know that Kane Corns got into him again the other day, but Kane Corns, I like Kane Corns. He's
So
good,
do I.
says it how it is. But Adrian, what would you change?
Probably the tribunal.
Oh, don't like it?
Not really.
I interviewed Reece Jones the other day. He was telling me he got robbed in his career.
Probably a bit stiff. Yeah, it just seems to be too inconsistent.
Hmm.
The processes seem to drag on too long. I don't like it the way they can just chop and change. And
I don't know that they're ever going to get it right, though, are they, the tribunal? Because it's an interpretation thing. The bit that doesn't make sense is you can get 2 weeks for telling someone to go and get effed, but you can get 1 for ripping someone's head off. It doesn't. That's the bit. It's the severity of the injury. Like for like, if you swing tackle a guy and he's out for 6 weeks, should it be like for like? Should you miss out? Because as we lead into finals, some people are going to take out some players if the risk is a couple of weeks. It's going to happen, at that stage. But I agree. Look, the tribunal is a tough one because I think they've tried so many different things. They've
just
bought in
consistency, that's what
ex-players.
they're looking for. Just consistent rules for everybody.
Tough.
I
Decisions.
want to know if that Fremantle player is going to go
From
for hitting his own player last night.
what was that? Was a
I need to
ruckman,
look at
wasn't
it.
Yeah.
Cut him.
Yeah, that's goal. He should get friendly fire weeks.
I'm surprised they haven't brought it up.
Let's diversify because I could speak footy to you guys all day and I want to get to this punters thing at the end. So if you're listening to us on LSN, jump onto Facebook. If you've got a tip, send it in. If not, we're going to make it up for you. Let's diversify to cricket for a minute. Yes or no, and a brief explanation. Should we get rid of the third umpire in cricket? And the loaded question is, I'm not sure. I've umpired cricket. I've played 300 games of cricket. I actually don't reckon that ball tracking and Snicko gets it right 100%. So if it's not 100%, my view would be I'm prepared to live with the umpire's decision. What's your opinion? Or are we too far gone?
I tend to agree. Even in a footy review or score
Agree.
review,
Yep.
umpires don't want to make a decision because they've got the facility to correct it.
Yep.
I'd like to see the umpire just make a decision and be done with it.
Yep.
Yeah,
It worked for 100 years.
absolutely.
And I reckon there's as much conjecture around it now. People going, that was definitely going down leg. How can they say it pivoted 11 degrees? I like the umpire's decision, Ben. I like a little bit of human, I'm not sure if it's a word, but humanity still left in it, some human interaction,
Yeah.
some risk associated to it.
I think what people don't like is I think people want to see a howler get corrected.
Yep.
But when there's a fingernail from 45 out and then they go back to a review and they say, no, that was touched.
The hands under the ball thing is huge.
With the cricket, the same, did it just get a tuft of grass? We don't really. I think that's where people become frustrated.
Yep.
The howlers, though, that's what you want to correct. And it's the fine line of where do we stop and start.
Well,
It's hard.
the truth is with the howlers, I got given out in the grand final local shitty cricket, like thirds. I got given out the bat. I reckon I was playing a cut shot and he's virtually giving me. That's how far away the bat was. He's giving me out caught down leg side. I'm like, you're kidding, are you? But I never ever, when I nicked it, I never walked. I wasn't a walker. So it evens out over your career, I reckon, don't you think?
Yeah, it takes away the humanity from umpires, I think.
Were you a walker? You're a good cricketer. Were you a walker?
Yeah, I walk. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. No chance.
Yeah, I walk.
And I sucked about it the whole way off.
Yeah. But no, I like just to make umpire make a decision.
Yep.
Without a review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I say no review. Get rid of it for footy and cricket. I'm saying I don't like either. And I'll even go one further. In soccer, we watch a little bit of EPL soccer over in England at home. And they spend 3 minutes reviewing, did it cross the line? Was there a percentage over that? Just use your refs.
I think NRL is one that I really don't like. They look at one decision and then rewind it back about 4 plays and go, oh, actually, that's horrible. It's like,
is it because of the betting? Is it because of the betting on footy, on sport?
The genie's out of the bottle now. So, I mean, if you're watching a sport that doesn't have it, you think, oh, geez, they're backwards here at the moment. So it's a difficult one. Betting, I mean, there's referees in the NBA which have been jailed because they've made decisions which have affected games and been betting. So it's there, and I suppose the video makes them accountable to someone or something in the moment.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a tricky one to watch. And AFL have not got it right at all.
Yeah.
Like it seems like there's $1 billion brand that's trying to just do things with like probably more technically advanced here than the ARC in some regards.
Mm-hmm.
I think umpires are scared to make decisions half the time. Cricket.
Yeah.
Because they know if it's wrong, it gets reviewed, then they don't make a decision, just go upstairs.
I know, but you can't tell them off if you're going to review. It's one or the other. That's the safety of it. But I think the finger, as you say, it's taken too long. Looking 10 times, did his finger get back? And then you're undermining the goal umpire.
But goal umpires don't make a decision. Same.
Yeah.
Same as a cricket umpire.
Yeah, they're just too scared.
Well, they kind of say their decision, then they go, look, I think it's touched, but we'll just go, you know.
If you think it's touched, call it was touched.
Yeah.
Well, so let's move on to our Punters Club very quickly. So you've kindly going to donate $50 a week to our Punters Club.
Yep.
What's the rules? What's the goals? I think we've got 3 self-confessed terrible punters here. What are we doing with the money? Are we going to let it build up? Are we going to reinvest X amount each week? What's the plan? You're the boss.
We could let it ride and then divvy it up between charities at the end of the year.
Okay.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm happy to do that if it suits. Hopefully we get something in there for charity. We'll just pick out 3 charities in our league or Northern Footy League and do something with that.
Yeah, we can give it. And there might be someone during the year that has a horrific accident that just needs funds. Maybe we can find a way to give back. So before you get up me on the show and say, Daz, why are you punting? If you don't like it, Buttercup, bugger off.
Yeah.
It's we're having a bit of fun. So all right, so we've got to put a multi together, I think is the best way it works. This is our first week of our show, so people probably haven't realised I've gone on. But if you are watching, I've seen we've had quite a few come in and out. If you've got a tip for this weekend or you want us to punt on something, put it on Facebook. The text machine's clearly not working, although that's not true. Let me see if I've got it. Well, there is a couple of texts.
What I'm doing here, I'm not ignoring everyone.
No, that's all right.
I'm just getting on to 3 punters that I know, and I think the best thing to do is ask them what their tips are and avoid them altogether. So
let's get away from them.
Well, I've got one for you.
All right, let's go.
I've got one.
We're going to write it down here. Spot on about the volunteers, Adrian, was the feedback from Pete from Ivanhoe. So, yes. All right, let's go. What's your tip?
I've got one for tonight.
Yep.
Melton.
Tonight, Melton gets
Melton.
hot out there.
Yes.
It's a terrible joke. That's
race
a dad
2,
joke.
number 8.
Race 2,
Muskie.
number 8. What's it called? Muskie.
Muskie. MUSKEE.
All right, at Melton. All right, so that's Bolzo. We've got $50 to spend. How much are you wagering wagering on this? Are we going
It
each
is-
way
it is
or the win?
favourite.
It isn't.
It is.
Yeah, we're going to have to get Melton. Yeah.
What you can afford. There
All
you
right.
go.
Well, you'll be the
Gotta be
judge. You'll be the
responsible.
judge of the spend on that. So we got 50 in total. So that's your tip for the week. I haven't done enough research, is the truth, but I'm gonna probably stick to AFL this week. So what's the games tonight?
There's a Brisbane one this afternoon.
They're crap, Brisbane.
Okay.
No, just joking.
They'll win the flag.
No. All right,
Don't
let's
worry
have a
about
look.
that.
So Brisbane's taking on Essendon, $1.06. There's no value in that, but I tell you what, there's value in. Look at us go here. The Four Wise Men. Is that what we should rename the show? The Four Wise Men. How about I'll take Brisbane. We'll do a multi for my league.
Okay.
So we'll go Brizzy will give us $1.06. And then this is a tight one. The Eagles versus the Tigers, $1.38 and $3.07 the Tigers at Eagle Land, but $1.38. So I'm going to go Brizzy into the Eagles just on a win. Brizzy plus Eagles is Daz. First one was Bolzo.
Tell you what I do look at. I look at some of the AFL games
Yep.
and the populars.
Yes.
Okay. For instance, I'm just looking at one at the moment. 21 legs,
21 legs.
paying $20. But there's 1,157 punters on that bet.
For 21
I
legs.
look at those
Okay.
and I think, yeah, because I don't really go into it and look at it.
Yep.
But I look at the popular
Well,
ones.
we can always punt one in.
And like I said, Dylan Moore
Yep.
for me the other night. I
How
had to
much
wait
did you win?
right to the end.
How much did you win?
I only won 120, but
He told me off air he won $4 grand.
no, I didn't.
Shit, don't
No.
tell my
it was
wife.
only a small bet, but that's
I do-
what I play.
I do
around
play with those ones.
I
They
just
are
play
good fun,
around.
aren't they?
There was 7 legs,
All right.
and I was waiting for 15 minutes for him to kick a goal.
What's it paying? $21.
This one is, but
Wow.
this is 21 legs.
Right. So maybe
So-
maybe we split it. Maybe we have 25 into our multi and 25 we do one of those sports bet. Big multis.
But there are others like like I said, 21. That's a lot. Oof.
They're heartbreakers, aren't they?
I know. If you lose one leg, don't you get a bonus bet or something?
No, I don't
No.
think so.
No. All right, Benny, what are you thinking?
Oh.
How have your bad punters gone
I've got
for you?
3. Oh, well, Gary Butterworth. Do we all know
Gary Butterworth. We've hit the bottom of the barrel with it.
So he's given us Eagle Farm Transatlantic.
Hang on. Eagle Farm Transatlantic.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's gone.
What race did he tell you?
All right, hang on.
I'll find it here, mate.
So, road,
What race is that?
transatlantic. It's race.
It is race 8, number 1.
Race
Yeah,
8,
there
number
you go.
1. Yep.
He's given me Eagle Farm here, Brave Monarch. It's the favourite.
Number 2.
Braid Monarch.
So we've got Transatlantic each way, I would say.
Each way. Yep. And
Jimmy Brown.
Braid Monarch. Jimmy
Horrible
Brown.
punter. Horrible punter.
I can't believe you've even taken brownies, to be honest.
So
Did we know a number for Braden Monarch? Braid Monarch? Or-
Brave Monarch
Number
is
2, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. What was that number 2?
Number 2, I said.
Number 2, Brave Monarch. He's the favourite.
What race is that?
It's a bit hard to read the race there, isn't it?
Race 6 or 7, I think.
Race 7.
All right,
Race 7,
race
that
7,
one.
number 2.
And we've got Bendigo, race 3, officiate.
Race 3, officiate.
And we'll put that each way.
Bendigo?
Bendigo, race 3,
Bendigo.
officiate.
Race 3, A, officiate or O?
Officiate. And that also come from the great Kevin Elms as well. So,
Oh, Elmsy, we're really
so
hit
we've
rock
got
bottom.
Elmsy and
You've,
we've got
you've
Jimmy
actually
Brown.
pulled out the worst 3 punters in Australia, I reckon.
Gary is.
Gary goes all right.
If Gary gets off the punt, Ladbroke sort of just falls down a little bit of share prices and everything. So
What about Colo? He might have a couple.
Yeah, I
Surely
know.
he can give us a couple.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Hey,
Watch this. We'll
but
try.
he's putrid. He's a putrid.
He is
punter.
he's a shit house punter, isn't he? I haven't plugged in, but we'll try and get him. We'll pray he doesn't swear. What are you thinking, Adrian? While we try
my
and-
bet of the day is probably Hawkesbury.
Oh, he's
Race
on
9,
message
number
bank.
3.
Race 9, number 3, Hawkesbury.
Wait to the Stars, Nashville Willet.
What's it paying?
About 550.
Ooh. Weight of the Stars. All right. So what we're going to work out here is how do we Darren Collins, this will be gold. Watch this. We'll put him on against 3. Now, Daz, don't swear because you're actually on radio, right?
G'day, Daz. All right. Well, I'm actually lying in bed just about to get up. I've been working, mate.
You've been working. You're at the council. Never bullshit a bullshit artist, mate.
Better get me hand off it then. I'm just about to.
No, you're on radio, you dill. You're live here with Bolzo, you're here with Benny, Charles, and Adrian White, and myself. We're doing a punters club. We want to know what you're punting on today, so we don't.
Well, yeah. I took Fremantle at -7.5 last night, so I would.
That was a good one.
I got one for you, so
All right, go.
Donald, race 1.
Hang on.
Number 1.
Donald, race 1. Bolzo, what do you rate Colo as a punter out of 10?
I told you, mate, he's putrid.
Donald, race 1, number 1.
Is that as a bloke or as a punter?
Both, he said.
Race 1, number 1, boys.
All right, done. We've locked it in. All right.
Take care.
No
See you,
dramas.
boys.
See ya. All right, let's just scratch that. There's no way we're punting with him. But yeah, no. So we've got a bit of a pool going here. How are we going to divide this up, Age?
We can have
So-
2 multis if you like. Yeah.
The callers get to join this punters club
Yes,
as well?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Whoever wants in, like the plan will be whoever you want to put money in.
I'll put in 50 as well.
Why don't we set up for next week as well? Bet with mates or something, and whoever wants to join our punters club each week, and it doesn't always have to be us 4, but if someone ever wants to pop in and give us their view or dial in or speak on Facebook, let's do it with the view of we're raising money for a charity or someone that needs it or something that unfortunately happens. We've got something where we can help the community out. It's all for the good cause. I'll do the same. I'll whack 50 into it, so I'll transfer you 50. We'll put it over. We've got 150 to start to put in there.
Oh, well, I better jump in too then.
Yeah, I was waiting. He took a bit longer than I thought. He's crying over there. He's crying. You can't see it on
4 times
TV.
50.
All right, so we're 200 into the punters club.
checks.
No checks?
No
Oh
checks.
shit, I'm in for 25 then. But it'll be great. Let's get it going. So are we going to do these as individual bets? I think putting them into one multi might just kill us. One leg dies, we're dead.
I like individual bets.
Yeah,
let's
let's
figure out
do-
who gets the chocolates, and maybe there might be a star rating at the end. You've given us the most tips. So
Yep.
here's your trip to
See what we're left with.
Thomastown Kebab Shop.
I like it.
Yeah.
I reckon this is a win. All right, so we'll get all of those in today. We'll sit here after the show. I've actually got to get commentate the other game shortly, Heidelberg versus Greensboro for Plenty Valley. So if you're trying to tune in and listen to the game tonight, today on LSN, it's not on LSN today. We're doing it on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. So tune in. Other sports, I want to ask you guys about before we go. We've got 7 minutes, so this is great. I want to ask you guys, what is the biggest concern in sport in this country at the moment? And my loaded question is, I'm an MCC member. I think you're an MCC member, aren't you? You're an MCC? You're MCC. You're MCC.
No.
Oh, I'm the only one. Sorry, boys, you have to lift. But MCC, I can't get a ticket through MCC for the gridiron game. So Super Bowl sort of took over the rights of the whole MCG to, it's their way or the highway. I would have thought, like from a sporting thing, I pay exorbitant fees to be part of the MCC. Pivot's the guy I was thinking is part of the MCC. But is that right? Is that right that we're selling ourselves out to something like that? It will be a big crowd. It's 10 a.m. in the morning, the game, so it suits, them. I sort of get that. Why are we pumping so much money? Why are we doing this for NFL and not doing something here?
They are taking over, aren't they? For
Yeah.
the whole, and I'm talking every signage.
Yep.
Every piece of cutlery.
I
That's
think
got
the
a
Shane
logo
Warne
on it,
stand
they're
is
just
getting signage is
clearing.
getting pulled down, and they're putting up like their stars
Yeah,
up
correct.
around the things.
But it's also anything that's any glass that's got a sponsorship name. They're just getting rid of it. and bringing their own stuff in.
Yeah.
I don't know what's
Incredible.
going on there. I
Cost
don't like
millions.
it at all.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all. Sorry, I've just realised I've probably got.
I think it is an indication of.
Sorry,
where
guys. I
and-
wasn't looking at. Sorry, once I wasn't looking. I was looking at the wrong screen. So some people have spot on Benny. Who you copping shit from Dale Byrne already?
Am I really? Who's Dale Byrne?
Yeah.
Right? Who is Dale Byrne?
He'll be in good form today.
Burger.
I keep having bets with him and I keep losing. He's got me by the balls. Mick Atkins, hi DC, you're coming through loud and clear from Alaska. There you go, boys. You're being heard in Alaska today. Jimmy Atkins' dad, Michael, has been traveling very well, gets in quite well. Outstanding show, guys. Love the conversation. Pete Rawley does Daz and Pete Monday night, which is our podcast. Over 1,200 viewers listened on that podcast last week as we slammed Pete Rawley pretty solid. Brett Bruce, Bolzo on the punt. Look out. You copping a bit of grief.
I'm not a very good one.
No, well, none of us are. I
But
think
I'll give
this
you a
is
winner.
Yeah.
I've got you a winner.
We'll get a winner. And maybe we need a new one. You put more on, what's that?
The more you put on, the more you win. Gamble responsibly.
Yes, I do like the gamble responsibly on who we are. So I didn't have the chat up. Sorry, that's why I thought it was a bit weird. Nothing was going through. Yeah, I don't like the idea of us selling ourselves out to Americans. That's my little beef on things. I think it's our ground. I want to celebrate our stars. And as a minimum, like, you know, we're really turning the G upside down for this. I understand there's going to be seating on the ground and everything now. You know, when they used to have those big events, so, you know, Elton John would come and play and then they'd say, oh, the ground's screwed, you've stuffed the ground. I'm sure everything's a bit further down there. You do a lot of events as well, you know, with Signature Sports. You wouldn't want, I don't know. That's just my beef. I don't want to be Americanized in this country. I want it to be us.
Definitely not. And AFL footy is you think on a global stage, it's actually played in about 5 states of the entire world.
Right.
Really.
Yes.
Right? In comparison to American sports. It's just how big it is. American sports, the commercialization of it.
So why?
The
You understand
billionaires
this
that are
better than
behind it.
anyone. Why? Why bring it to Australia? Gridiron here isn't taking off at this country. We speak to them. Scotty Ditcham's right into it. It's not that big in this country. Why bring a game here? What's the commercial benefit in all of this?
You can argue, why bring AFL to India?
Agree. So,
I
but
don't get it.
yeah, well, there must be something. So, what is it? What's the reason? What's the benefit
Oh,
here?
I think being in Melbourne, they're going to get a crowd.
Yep.
Whether it's gridiron, cricket, soccer, whatever, they'll fill the stadium.
Well, they sold it out. There's not enough tickets.
So they know that
100,000
Melbourne
tickets
will come and
sold.
support anything.
$600 a ticket
Always
for the
been good at
average
it. They can
punter.
put 2 snails on the
Yeah.
ground and they'll get a
600.
crowd.
And it all comes down to the dollar.
And I think one of the great examples is when the USA team came out here for a warm-up match against
Yeah.
the Boomers, and they sold 50,000 tickets to that.
Yeah.
While there was Collingwood Richmond with 100,000 at it, and I think there was something else that I think there might have been the Wallabies were playing at the same. That sporting precinct, Olympic
Huge.
Boulevard, it's exciting to be there. Just middle of the week on a Tuesday. You know, it's a great place to be.
I wish
Does
it
it
was a
need-
night game.
Does it
You would've
need
gone.
American sport? I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't see the connection. I'm immersed in it and I understand
Yep.
you know that side of the game, but I don't know what the appeal is.
I went to it
I
last
heard
year.
about
It
Joe
was great
Montana
in the
coming
States.
out and-
Amazing.
I heard about Joe Montana coming out and he's doing like a meet and greet, but who does that appeal to? I don't know. Is anybody fanatical about the North? You know, people watch American sports.
Their coach isn't happy about it. One of the coaches said, this would be great. 24-hour flight, get off, coach a game, put all my players back on a plane for another 24 hours, take them home and back up 4 days later. Yeah, thanks. That was his interview.
I'm sure he's going to get paid handsomely, though.
You think the
Out of it.
NFL had the same response in Vegas when they went there, the dictate what they wanted to
Well, I
do?
reckon that's a train smash as well. The NRL going over to Vegas and doing it, and it's being their lowest ratings. It's put on
Yeah.
Fox Sports 3, and I'm not sure that's a win either. How about we all just stay in our own pocket? Would be my little beef to
And
it.
NRL kind of have stayed in their lane, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like they haven't gone like they've got a Melbourne team,
Yep.
but they haven't gone like let's just explode all over the country. Let's just stay in our Queensland, northern states and promote that as heavily as we can. But
Yep. Oh well.
it's a tough one.
On that note, we're going to wrap it up. Our tips are because this will get replayed on radio shortly, and the video will get replayed. So we went for race 2, number 8 at Melton, Muskie, paying about favourite. You thought
270.
270, not too bad. I've taken Brizzy into the Eagles. which might be around about the $1.50, $1.60, something like that, I reckon. Eagle Farm, you've got Benny or you in line with Butsy, have got Transatlantic, race 8, number 1 each way. And Braid Montana, race 7, number 2. And how will we taking that, each way or on the nose?
I think that one's a win. Let me just have a look at this.
Yep,
here.
Butsy will come back to you. Bendigo race
Transatlantic would be each way.
Yep.
And the other one at Eagle Farm, which
Braid.
is Brave Monarch,
Yep.
that's the $2.15 favourite. So
That's on the win. Bendigo race 3 affiliate. Who took that?
that was Officiate.
Officiate.
That's an each way one as well.
Each
And
way.
that one is from the connections at Jim Brown Racing and Kevin Elms Betting Syndicate.
All right, that will be an absolute train smash of a bet. That
Will be
if you
our
got
loss.
Jimmy Brown and him, we'll take a hide in there. Hawkesbury, you've got race 9, number 3.
Yep.
Kind
It
of
was
way of the stars.
Way to the stars. Yeah.
And how are we going that on the
We'll
nose?
back that the nose.
All right,
Yeah.
so that's for a win. What's that paying?
$5.50.
Well, see, at least we got some value out of one of us.
Yeah,
So
fair
that's
enough.
pretty good. And Donald race 1, number 1, was that you as well?
No,
Was
That's
that-
Collar.
Colo. Oh yeah, Colo. Shit. We'll actually get on Betfair on that one and just put it not to finish. We better go on the win on that one as well. Now, if you want to join the Punters Club, you can. All right. So this week, whatever's in is in. We'll give everyone a week to get in, but let's call it $50 if you want in. You get to put your tips forward. We'll divide it up each week, but maybe at the end of the year, whatever's left, half goes to charity and we'll divvy the rest up for the next year or something or whatever it is.
So $50, how long are we going to do this for 10 weeks?
Yeah,
and
we'll
then
do it for the
reassess?
footy season. Let's do it for the footy season, for the rest of the footy season. But you have to have your
It's $50 total or $50 weekly?
just $50 in once.
Yeah, I like
yeah,
that. I like that.
just $50. If we run out, at all of us, well, whoever wants to jump back in for round 2, great.
And we're putting it into you.
We'll all send him
Send it to you.
$50 in a sec.
Yeah.
He's worth trillions, mate. Doesn't matter. He'll forget. I've worked out how to do a ChatGPT screenshot. I transferred you $50. He won't even check.
Wouldn't have a clue.
No, we'll put it in. But if you do want to get in, let us know, and we'll send you Adrian's bank details. And no pressure if you don't. Bit of fun, guys. We're going to wrap the show up spot on just over an hour. Thank you so much for coming in on a Saturday morning. I reckon this show will grow pretty quickly too, because we get to talk about not only what we want to talk about, but if you've got a topic you want to talk about and you want us to bring it up, we're happy to speak about it as long as it's fair. I think we've worked out this morning that the tribunal needs a review. We're not over the moon with the stand rule. Benny's got about 14 beefs. You could just about come on and do KB's beef with him as well on a Thursday night, on a Wednesday night. And we've got a good punters club and we're happy to talk all of the issues as well. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed our very first show. We might have to change the name from Before the Game to the Four Amigos or something like that. We'll work it out. And we'll be back and speaking to you next week. Until then, keep kicking.
Need a mechanic you can trust in the Diamond Valley? At Diamond Valley Auto Care, we've been keeping locals safely on the road for years. From logbook servicing to brake repairs, diagnostics, and aircon regassing, we do it all quickly and professionally. We treat your car like it's our own, with honest advice, expert care, and no surprises. Proud sponsors of the Northern Footy Show, book now at diamondvalleyautocare.com.au. Local, reliable, and ready to help.